Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll chant Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verses 31 to 35.
यज्ञशिष्टामृतभुजः यान्ति ब्रह्म सनातनं नायं लोकोऽस्त्वयज्ञस्य कुतोऽन्यः कुरु सत्तमा एवं बहुविधा यज्ञाः वितता ब्रह्मणो मुखे कर्मजान् विद्धितान् सर्वान् एवं ज्ञात्वा विमोक्षसे श्रेयान् द्रव्यमयाद्यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः परन्तपा सर्वं कर्माखिलं पार्थ ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्षन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः यज्ञात्वा न पुनर्मोहम् एवं यास्यसि पाण्डव येन भूतान्यशेषेण द्रक्ष्यस्यात्मन्यथो मयि.
In the last class, we had done up to verse 34. The last shloka we saw was verse number 34, where he talks about how to gain this knowledge. In 33, he said, of all the yajnas, he talked about 12 yajnas from verse 25 to 30. Of all the yajnas, he says, highest is jnana yajna. Because it is the jnanam that can destroy the ignorance of our true nature. So jnanam, when he says, it means the jnanam of our real self. Jnanam of our true nature destroys the ignorance of our true nature. And once the ignorance of the true nature is destroyed, the attachment that came from that ignorance, which is the cause of all our suffering, gets destroyed. When that attachment gets destroyed, suffering gets destroyed. So for all the yajnas, he says jnana yajna is the highest. When he says jnana yajna is the highest, it doesn't mean that therefore you just do that. To come to jnana yajna, you have to do the other yajnas which will give you chitta shuddhi and chitta ekagrata. Purifies your mind. All the other yajnas purify your mind, and then they give you single pointedness with which you can pursue the knowledge to receive, to retain, and establish yourself in it. You understand? Therefore, all other yajnas are also extremely important. All other yajnas means all other sadhanas. Jnanam is the final sadhana. But to come to that jnanam, you need to be a qualified person. For that, all other sadhanas are very helpful. So now, how do you receive that knowledge? As a student, as a shishya, how to gain this knowledge? So he says in the 34th shloka, Tat vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. 3 points he mentions here. Tat vidhi means know that. How? He says pranipatena, through prostration. Prostration to the Guru. And prashnena, questioning. sevaya, through service. So, if you want to gain the knowledge, the first thing we should have is, I don't know. And I should know this. This is the most important thing. I seem to know many things, but this particular knowledge I don't know. Because when I talk about myself, I'm talking about myself, but I'm not really talking who am I, because I don't know. And that's the root cause of all the problems, they say. So Josh Billing says the trouble with most folks is not so much their ignorance, but their knowing, which ain't so. He puts that knowing within inverted commas. The problem is not I don't know. The problem is I know. So when I'm thinking that I know who I am, and I'm thinking myself to be this limited individual, what is called as delusion. Due to that delusion, attachment comes and suffering comes. Attachment to this body. Then I say attachment to this body means everything that has come through this body and earned through the body. Right. This body has come from parents. This body has produced children. So I'm attached to my parents, siblings of my parents, and my siblings, my children. Like this, I develop attachment. And through this body, I do actions and I procure things. So to things, home, gadgets, to everything, I start getting attached. Slowly. Because of this misunderstanding that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect. Right? So, therefore, once I begin to understand this, then I say, I don't know this knowledge, and this is very important to know, and therefore I should know. And from where I can know? From the Shastras. And Shastras are to be understood correctly. Therefore, I should approach the Guru who can teach me. Now, when I'm approaching the Guru, how do I know whom to approach? Who is the right Guru? So here in this shloka, he is saying, in the next line, you don't worry about who is the right Guru. You become the true Shishya. When there is a demand, there will be a supply. So when you become the true Shishya, you will attract the Guru to you, he says in the second line. So tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. So he says, you should know how first you should have these qualifications, these qualities, where the demand is created by that qualities, the Guru will get attracted to you. What are the qualities? Pranipatena means what? You have to prostrate, meaning surrender. See, the area of ignorance, you should have the courage to surrender. And your ego doesn't allow you to surrender. It is so difficult to say, I don't know. You understand? So, the moment you understand the surrendering, you don't know anything about the body, the diseases that can come in the body. So when you fall sick, you go to the doctor, you surrender. You don't go and tell the doctor what medicine he should prescribe. That means you don't have surrender. You say, these are my symptoms. You please tell me, you diagnose. Isn't it? Similarly, you have a problem, some legal issues. You surrender to the lawyer. Say, these are the facts. Now you see what you can do. So in that field, whoever is competent, you go and surrender because you're ignorant. In the area of ignorance, surrendering is essential. So prostration means you're surrendering your ego. Right? Surrendering your ego is different from surrendering your thinking. Okay, I found a Guru, so I go to the Guru, then I don't think. I stop thinking. No. That's why he says, prashnena. You should question. You should not question the authority of the Guru. You understand? You should question using your intellect. You're not surrendering your intellect. You are surrendering your ego. And sevaya, through service. I mentioned this when we talked about the shloka. service is not important for the Guru, nor the world requires your service or my service. It is not that if I don't come to take class here and people who are attending online, if I don't conduct this class, they will all suffer. There are a number of people in the world who are teaching Gita, and there may be some other teacher who will come in my place, maybe better teacher. You understand? If I do this, I benefit first. You understand? So this is a service that helps me to purify myself. So service to the Guru helps me to be in close proximity with the Guru. And Guru is one who's imbibed the knowledge and is translating it in his actions, who's living it. You understand? So when I am in the close proximity of the Guru, even the theoretical nuances that I find very difficult to understand, through the practice that the Guru is living, I begin to understand. Are you with me? So therefore, service is essential for me, and also it gives me the right attitude. Therefore, he emphasizes service. Now, if you have these qualities, surrendering, questioning, and service, you get qualified. Then he says, to such a student who is ready, who has the demand, the Guru will come. You understand? And like I said, to that Guru also, you don't have to surrender blindly. Later on, he's going to talk about Antaranga Sadhana, where he will mention about Shraddha. I will talk about it there. What is that real Shraddha? There are 3 types of Shraddha and all that. So that Shraddha you should have. That doesn't mean you don't question. Without questioning, when you blindly believe any person, including what is being said in this class, it is not real Shraddha. You understand? It is not real Shraddha. After every class, we have Q&A session on Sundays. Today I am told we have to conclude the Q&A session in about 10 minutes because this hall is required after that. So, yeah. General service also, service to the Guru also. In this context, it is service to the Guru. So here the madam is asking, is it only service to the Guru or what about the service to the society? Everything is included. But here is talking about the Shishya. So it is referring directly to the service to the Guru. But that doesn't mean you stop there. You get it? So, such a person with that right bhavana, see, attitude mixing with questioning. You understand? Both put together, you have humility to receive the knowledge. See, rain, when it comes, it falls on the mountain and the valley. But it only fills the valley, not the mountain. The mountain receives the water, but it drains down. Similarly, if you have swelled yourself up with so much of ego, it may fall on you, but it will slip away. If you have dug yourself deep with right attitude and made yourself a valley with humility, then you receive the knowledge. You understand? That's why they say, true Vidya will come with Vinaya. In the 5th chapter, next chapter, in one particular place, he'll talk about a Brahmana. He'll say, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane. A Brahmana is one who has both Vidya and Vinaya. And we always say this, Vidya, Vinaya go together, Viveka and Vairagya go together. When you have true discrimination, understanding, thinking, you will have true renunciation, true detachment. So, the way you measure your spiritual evolution is through humility and through detachment, mental detachment. So now, in this portion from 31 to 37, he says, all yajnas will culminate in wisdom. Now, after having spoken about the importance of knowledge, how to gain it, in 35, 36, 37, he's going to talk about the fruit of this knowledge. The benefit of this knowledge. What do we really gain from this knowledge? Because, much ever you may say, don't be result oriented. Just focus in the action. Karmani eva adhikaraha, ma phaleshu kadachana. All this we have heard from childhood maybe. And how many times we hear, our mind still wants to know what will I get. मेरा टेक अवे क्या होगा, मेरा प्रसाद क्या होगा, what is my result? You understand? We all become result oriented. So here he says, what happens, what are the benefits you get when you gain this knowledge? Verse 35.
यज्ञात्वा न पुनर्मोहम् एवं यास्यसि पाण्डव येन भूतान्यशेषेण द्रक्ष्यस्यात्मन्यथो मयि.
Knowing this knowledge, you shall not again get deluded. Thus, O Pandava, O Arjuna, by which you will see all beings in the self and also in me. So this particular shloka, he is saying the benefit is what? Destruction of moha, delusion. Delusion about what? We generally say dharma adharma delusion and atma anatma delusion. Here he is talking about atma anatma delusion particularly. Atma meaning me, my real self. Whenever we listen to this word Atma, majority of the time, sometimes it can mean mind. Majority of the time, Atma means the self, me, my real nature. Is unborn, it is beyond birth, it is beyond death. And not only that, it is akarta, it is a non-doer. And since it is a non-doer, it is abhokta also. Means it is not the one who is the enjoyer. Now, if I am deluded, if I don't know that I am not the doer, then what do? I'll delude myself to think that I am the doer. Who is the doer? Gunas. The body, mind, intellect is the doer. Eyes are seeing color and form. Nose is smelling the fragrance. Sound is heard by the ears. The ears are hearing the sound. And I am able to be a witness to all this. Right? So I am a sakshi, not karta. Are you with me? I am a witness, not the doer. But today, I am deluded to think that I am the doer. And when I think I am the doer, I continue like that without the knowledge, without understanding. Then when the effect comes, effect will come for the doer. But since I have not destroyed my delusion, I am still continuing to believe that I am the doer. When the result comes, I am the enjoyer also. So I have to go through the result. Are you with me? Because I am both karta and bhokta. But suppose he's going to talk about all this karma and all. In that shloka, I'll talk about this in detail, but now I'll not talk about it. So this delusion is there. Right? So I think I am karta and I think I am this body, mind, intellect. And not only that, I think everybody else is also the body, mind, intellect. In that one consciousness, in that one witnessing Chaitanya, Sakshi Swarupa, I am, what am I doing? Projecting many names and forms. You understand? I am projecting many names and forms. This is the delusion. Since I am thinking like this, then I look at you also as the body, mind, intellect. I'm looking at myself as body, mind, intellect. I'm looking at everything as various names and forms. So I am in that delusion. So he says, once you gain this knowledge, knowing which, gaining this knowledge doesn't mean the intellectual gaining that you are gaining now. Once this knowledge has penetrated through your ears and penetrated your mind, penetrated your intellect, and destroyed the vasanas, and you have enlightened yourself. In that sense, he's saying. So he says, knowing which, that level knowing which, you shall not again get deluded. See, today, you are going through the dream, let's say. You are in the dream. And in the dream, you are thinking yourself to be the dreamer, doing various actions, and there is effects for those actions, and you're going through the ups and downs and all that you're thinking. Now, once you wake up from the dream, are you still in the delusion that you are the dreamer going through all this? Or you become free from the delusion? Free. Can you enter the same dream again? So in Vedanta, when we talk about this dream example, one dream is compared to one life. One whole, you can even say all the janmas put together. Okay. Once you wake up from the dream, you don't get back to the dream. So that's what he's saying here. Knowing which, you shall not again get deluded. Some people may get the question. Now I'm deluded. Okay, I gained this knowledge. What is the guarantee that I will not fall again into this delusion? There is no question, because when this correction has happened inside, thereafter, the whole perception, everything changes. Like I've been mentioning in my class, you are not, today the delusion is what? I am born in the world. Right, that's the delusion. Once you gain this knowledge, what do you understand? The world is projected upon me. Today my understanding is what? I am born in the world. When I gain this knowledge, what is my understanding? World is projected upon me. See, to explain this, we have given these examples time and again, but once more I will give it. So we've had gap in between for 2 weeks. See, the problem with these gaps is, generally also, we don't study. Gap means we definitely don't study. Understand? Because at least once a week we meet. Now with the gap, 2 weeks chutti. See, the study classes are all only, what would I say, 1% or 5% helpful. Really what is helpful is your daily study, your daily reflection. Do you get it? So, okay, you may attend maximum another class. So maybe supposing Sunday and Wednesday you're attending, and 2 classes. But what about every day you're eating, every day you go to exercise. Right? So like that, every day you got to study, reflect, and follow the other sadhanas as much as possible. So this, when this knowledge goes and destroys the delusion, what happens with that example which we have discussed before? I'll explain. Water is what has become the ocean and the wave. The little portion of water, supposing, assumes itself to be separate and says, I am wave. And chota bada, jo bhi hai. Right. And as a result, there is a lot of insecurity, all that comes. Isn't it? Chota wave is worried that bada wave will eat me. Bada wave is worried there should be no bada wave than me. You understand? So, constant insecurity when you think you are the wave. Now, slowly you understand that I'm not the wave, I'm the ocean. All these insecurities will go. Right? And then, even deeper, if you understand that I am not even ocean, I am actually water. I'm actually water. You understand? So, the identification barrier, all the barriers drop, then oneness comes. When oneness comes, there is no otherness. As a result, there is no insecurity. So he says, knowing which you shall not again get deluded. Once you gain this knowledge, thereafter there is no delusion. O Pandava, O Arjuna. Very beautifully, he is addressing Arjuna as Pandava. You've now identified with this. We are all Pandu Putra. Therefore, I'm Pandava. This is the problem. You have to break this. You have to break this. You know, Swamiji has written a book called Holocaust of Attachment. He purposely called it as Holocaust. He says, attachment is the worst of all viruses in that book. You are terrified of many other viruses. Corona, this and that. And then he says, the worst is attachment. And you are completely oblivious of it. You don't know anything about it. And you're playing with it. And do you know what is the full form of the term virus in computer language? In computer language also is, virus attack. Somebody told me this. Vital information resource under siege. When a virus attacks, your information resources under siege. That's what they do. Ransomware attacked. All your information is under siege. So they say, listen, you give us some money, we'll release it. Isn't it? So when the attachment takes over, our buddhi goes. When the buddhi goes, everything goes. We studied this in the second chapter. How we fall, the ladder of fall. He says the beginning point is all thought. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu bhajayate. Just thinking about the object over a period of time unconsciously, unintelligently, continuously, I develop attachment. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. From the attachment comes desire. Now I want to have it. That attached object, I want to have it. Desire. Kamat krodot bijayate. When something comes in between and not allow me to achieve that, I get angry. Krodat bhavati sammoha. I get deluded. I can't see who's my benefactor, who is my malefactor, what is right, what is wrong. I get completely deluded. You understand? Krodat bhavati sammoha. Sammohat smriti vibramaha. I forget all I studied, all my memory goes. Smriti bramshad buddhi nashakha. I can't think. Buddhi nashat pranashyati. All gone. How the whole thing came? Attached. I think somebody's mic is on. Please put yourself in mute. So, attachment. So, in that book, Holocaust of Attachment, he says this is the deadliest of all viruses. Attachment. Destroying your happiness, your relationship, everything. And you are blissfully unaware of, and you're going on encouraging attachment. In that, he talks about how we are all captive. Understand? We're all bound. You're bound to the body. I am a man or a woman. I'm bound by that. Then I'm bound by my home. As I'm growing up, I'm bound by my home. Then the society. So many things. Slowly, I'm bound. You have restricted yourself by thinking you can come out of that boundary. Isn't it? Slowly, this world has evolved. Right? Now, even today, now, women, I'm just taking this example. It is also applicable to men and everybody. This example is about women. who are in deep village. They are conditioned in a particular way. So they think women should not do this, women should not do this, don't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. Like that, a lot of restrictions. Compared to the women in different cities who are exposed to knowledge and many other things, their thinking is different. So they're much more liberated. Yes or no? The question, they're much more liberated. What was believed that women cannot do, now they are doing women. Right? So it's your thinking that is limiting you. So when this whole thing changes through the knowledge, I am not the body that is born in the world, I am the Atma upon which all this is projected. I'm the water upon which the wave is projected. I am not the wave that is born in water. You get it? When the delusion goes, I am Pandava, I am this, I am that small restricted boundary goes. So he beautifully addresses Arjuna in the context as, oh Pandava, by which means by this knowledge. What happens? You will see all beings in me, in the self, also in me is this. In me here, when he, in the translation, if you see, Swamiji has put the me yam with capital, means Ishvara. So you will see all beings in the self, in the sense, this consciousness which is within me is the same consciousness that is there in every being. So all beings are same. That oneness you see. And all beings are that Ishvara, that Atma. This is the benefit. And the moment you see that, where is the fear of somebody hurting you, this, that? Nothing. So now for example, somebody, whether you've really done something in the past when you were ignorant, or you didn't do. Very beautifully Shakespeare says, reputation is an idol. Most false imposition. Oft got without merit, lost without deserving it. Reputation is an idol. Most false imposition. In school we would have written imposition. No? Write this 25 times and come tomorrow. Because you didn't remember something. So you're writing 25 times. Everybody repeats, oh, he's a good man. She's a good girl. He's a good teacher. He's this thing. He's a reputation. Slowly. You never tested it. You never knew. He said it, you said it, somebody said it. 25 times it's got repeated. Now you got a reputation. Nobody really knows. So he says reputation is an idol. Most false imposition. Oft got without merit. Often without merit you got it. And lost without deserving it. You might have not done anything wrong. If somebody is drinking milk, glass of milk, transparent glass, they are holding and drinking milk under the palm tree. And that, let's say, Bhagavad Gita teacher is sitting there under the palm tree, is drinking milk in a glass. You are passing by. What will you come to conclusion? Under the palm tree is drinking. That means he is drinking toddy. What the teacher drinking toddy? You understand? You have your own ideas. I'm not saying you should drink or not drink. But you have your own idea. So you go and say somebody says something, like Chinese whisper, it adds, deletes many things, and then a reputation is destroyed. Lost without deserving it in many cases. Many cases it's lost without deserving. You get it? So he says, now, supposing you haven't done anything and people are talking about it like this, but you have got this jnana. Now you are an enlightened soul. Okay. What will be your attitude? You are, he's saying, na, you will see all beings in the self and also in me. You are seeing everything as one. Right? You are seeing everything as water. But they are not in that level. They are not in that level. They are seeing themselves as what? Wave. Correct? Small, big wave. Or even sometimes bubbles, froth and foam. Each one is thinking like that. They are seeing like that. From their angle, it looks like this. Correct or not? So, even when they criticize you, it will not affect you. Because you are having this vision by which you will see all beings in the self and also in me. If you have reached that level, if you have not reached that level, you only got intelligence, information. It's not yet become transformation. You've not started seeing everything as water, everything as consciousness. Are you with me? Then to that extent you will be affected. So he says, once you gain that knowledge, that wisdom, once you got transformed, what does it do? It destroys delusion. What is the delusion? I already explained. Atma Anatma Viveka. Delusion about me. The problem is, see, in the world, we think the world is affecting me. World is not capable of affecting me. World is today affecting me because I have delusion. Once this delusion is corrected, world is incapable of affecting. This is the point that Vedanta, and this is a main point, and this is the most difficult point to swallow. Because we want to hear that the reason for my suffering is my spouse, my children, my society, my friends, my relatives, my this thing, my that thing. We never want to hear that the reason is me. Because I have to put in the effort. If it's me, I have to change. If it's them, then they have to put in the effort. I can relax and listen to music. You understand? So therefore, it's very difficult. But Vedanta says this delusion is the problem. I am today deluded to believe that I am this name, I am this form, I am this bubble, froth, foam, wave, dreamer. Once I get this knowledge and I wake up, I become absolutely what? Unaffected. The delusion is gone, completely gone. No more delusion in me. So let the world talk whatever it wants. I'm not afraid. Let the world talk. See, now we are sitting and talking, Shri Krishna is a great man, this thing, that. Even today there are people who criticize Shri Krishna. Ramayana they wrote as it is. Whatever they had to say, they said. They didn't, change it. This is what, first of all, we have not read original Ramayana. We have read book on Ramayana written by somebody else later on. None of us read original Ramayana. Right? So we don't even know whether such a thing was there in original Ramayana or not. You get it? And assuming such a thing was there, and they wrote it as it is. If they wanted to project the hero in a particular way and they think these are blemish and it should not be projected this way, that way, they could have changed the story. They didn't do all that. They wrote it as it is. Right? Without reading the original, without really understanding correctly, without seeing the full picture of Ramayana, we start blaming Sitama, we start blaming Rama. Oh, Rama, how perfect is he? Isn't he done this? Isn't she done this? How perfect is this? How perfect is that? So that's how world will be. You understand? So there will be all kinds of things. But if you had got wisdom and removed the delusion, you will not have that expectation from others. Because you have this vision, you will see all beings in the self, also in me. You will see all beings are nothing but the self, which is beyond the name and form, which is expressing itself as various names and forms, and all these are nothing but Ishvara, that Brahman only, that consciousness only. As a result, what happens? No delusion. You become absolutely free from delusion. When you become free from delusion, you become free from the effects of all that the delusion can bring. Because you removed the cause. When the cause is removed, effect also gone. Isn't it? That's what he's saying. Now, this is one benefit. He's going to say the benefit from a different angle. Verse number 36.
अपि चेदसि पापेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः पापकृत्तमः सर्वं ज्ञानप्लवेनैव वृजिनं सन्तरिष्यसि.
Even if you are the most sinful of all sinners. See how, to what extent he goes to. Right? He says, even if you are the most sinful of all sinners, you shall verily cross over all sin by the raft of knowledge. He's saying this knowledge is the raft, the boat. All your papas are the ocean. See, technically in Vedantic language, papa means punya also. Anything that keeps you away from the self. Both pap and punya keeps you away from the self. Punya, you will go spend time in heaven. Pap, you go spend time in hell, meaning state of mind. That's a drag. That's a delay in realization. You understand? So therefore, both pap and punya are pap from the Vedantic point of view. So this pap and punya are the big ocean on which we are traveling. We are having so many guilt feelings, this, that, and all that. Right? So he says, even if you have done in the past a lot of pap, if you take all the people and count their papas in both quantity and quality, in both you will be the winner. In the sense, quantity wise also you have done more, quality wise also you have done the worst. Even if you happen to be such a person. He's saying, even if you are the most sinful of all the sinner. Happy. He's just saying, just in case. Let us assume so. Just in case. Sarvebhya papebhya papakrittamaha. Papakrittamaha means you are the top. You are the number one, let's say. He says, even then, you shall verily cross over all sin by the raft of knowledge. See, assume, to understand this with an example becomes easy. Let's say you have one sack of dry hay. Another person has 2, another person has 3, 4 like that, and I have 25,000. Okay, 25,000 sacks of dry hay piled up. I have. You have 2, another person has 3, 10. To destroy that, what do we need? Only one matchstick. Because I have 25,000, do I need 25,000 matchstick? All I need is just one matchstick. I strike it and put it there. That fire will destroy everything. Isn't it? So that's what he's saying. This knowledge fire, the fire of knowledge, that awareness. Oh my God, I was in deep sleep thinking myself to be the wave. I understand that I am the ocean. In the last class, I think I gave that story of Elisa, no? Elisa, that lioness, born free story I told, no? The lioness born and grew up domesticated. Then they trained the lioness and sent back into the jungle. I told the story. Correct? She didn't know that she's lying. She's lioness. She's growing up like a cat. Slowly, 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 when she understood, what happens? Slowly, 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 when she understands, what happens? She roars. Nobody can stand next to her. They get scared. And she very, majestically walks into the jungle. No fear whatsoever. All fears gone. It's like that you majestically walk. Name, fame, power, this, that, everything goes. Doesn't matter. Stays, no problem. Goes, no problem. You majestically go living about your life with total awareness. So he's saying this knowledge, this awareness removes all sins. Because the root, why does a person commit a sin? Why does a person commit a sin? If you go deeply, because I think I am limited. That sense of limitation. You understand? And the sense of limitation is there at all levels. If you just take money as an example, somebody who has X, he also has sense of limitation. Somebody who has X to the power of 10, he also has sense of limitation. Somebody who has X to the power of whatever you want to put there, he also has sense of limitation. Recently we read the news, no? That first trillionaire. Who is the first trillionaire? Huh? Elon Musk. Must be very lonely there, isn't it? The first trillionaire. So, we have to go and ask Elon Musk only. How insecure he is, I don't know. Right? So the point is that insecurity. I'm just giving example at the, money. Same thing at the other level. Relationships level. Or knowledge. Insecurity. I will be exposed to. If you have only intellectual knowledge, if you have this knowledge that he's talking about, no fear. You understand? So, he says, the moment you gain this knowledge, it completely destroys all sin. Because you don't identify with that limitation thereafter. Now, this is very, very interesting. You see, I think I mentioned in the previous classes about Sanchita Karma, Prarabdha Karma, and Agami Karma. So I'm not going into the details of it. Those who want to understand it better, go back to our previous classes in the YouTube. You see, when you gain the knowledge, meaning you gain this awareness and you wake up, you realize the self. What are the two karmas we burn? Sanchita and Agami. But Prarabdha are the set of karmas, Vasanas, that propelled you to take this birth. Right? That can only be exhausted through experience. Okay? So due to the Papa Punya that fructified and given you this birth, you are born. Okay? So Prarabdha Karma you have to experience. Are you with me? Now, he is saying all sins are destroyed. Not just Sanchita and Agami, even Prarabdha. How is this? The sense, Prarabdha is not destroyed. Because the person is going through the Prarabdha. But the effect of Prarabdha has no effect on him or her. So in that sense, Prarabdha is also gone. You get this? See, Lord Buddha, he walked away 12 years ago goes and does sadhana, realizes, and comes back. And his wife confronts him. All kinds of questions she's asking Lord Buddha. And Lord Buddha is not affected. Even he had made a mistake without, all she asks is, you could have taken my permission and gone. In fact, in sannyas, if you're a married person, our tradition says you should take the permission from wife and go. If she doesn't give you permission, you can't go. If the wife wants to go, she has to take permission from the husband. You cannot go otherwise. Traditionally, you understand. So the question is, you, without telling me, went away. You could have taken the permission and gone. You understand? It is a mistake from one angle if you see. And if it was Siddharth who walked away, is the same Siddharth who's come back without any transformation, he would have gone through agitation. But it is not the Siddharth who came. Who came is Buddha. You understand? So he is now there not as a karta. When he walked away without telling, maybe he walked away as a karta. You get it? Now he's come back as Buddha. As Buddha means what? He is risen above kartrutvam. He's gone above kartrutvam. There is no kartrutva. Therefore, no bhoktrutva. Therefore, whatever maybe the world says, the wife says, whatever as a result of it, he had to go through externally. All that is result of prarabdha. But it doesn't affect him. So in that sense, even that karma is gone. Is this clear? So therefore he says, you become free from all karmas, all sins, once you have this knowledge. That doesn't mean you will not go through the effects. You will go through the effects, but they'll go through you out. You won't own it up and suffer. Yes, physically you will go through. You will be put in certain circumstances. You will go through many things. But internally, as far as you are concerned, you are not affected by it. Why? Because now you do not have kartrutva. As a result, you do not have bhoktrutva. Is this concept clear? So therefore he says, even if you are the most sinful of all sinners, all papas gone. So previous shloka from the delusion. Now he is talking from pap, karma. And the next shloka he'll talk from vasana. We'll do one more shloka. Verse 37.
यथैधांसि समिद्धोऽग्निः भस्मसात् कुरुतेऽर्जुन ज्ञानाग्निः सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा.
As blazing fire reduces fuel to ashes, O Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge reduce all actions to ashes. All vasanas, he's saying today, in this shloka. He says, all vasanas gone. Sanchita prarabdha agami. All vasanas, as blazing fire reduces fuel. What he's saying is, when you churn wood, if you put wood together in one kund and churn them, in the friction the fire comes. From where is the fire is coming? From where it is coming? Through the friction it's coming. From where it is coming? Within the wood only. Isn't it? Fire is coming from the wood. And what does the fire eat? The wood. So when your personality is churned by this knowledge, from within this awareness comes. This knowledge is not something you get from outside. What I am doing now is only churning. Then the awareness has to come from within. That awareness eats up your vasana as the fuel. Wood is the fuel, nah? Your personality is based on what you are saying. Based on your vasanas. I am different. I'm a singer. I'm a dancer. I'm a this thing. I'm a that thing. Coming from where? Vasanas. Right? The wood. The personality. He says, when you churn yourself through this knowledge from within the personality, the awareness comes, the awakening comes, and that burns up all the fuel, all the vasanas totally. As blazing fire reduces fuel to ashes, O Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge reduce all actions to ashes. So, see, there are many karmas in the Karma Kanda portion talked about, right? Yajna, dana, tapa, this, that, all are purifying only. They're all purifying, no doubt. But really speaking, what purifies? This one purifies. Jnanam. Therefore, he says, Jnanam is the highest. We'll continue next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.